A new investigation. Discovery docuseries is uncovering some new allegations about Sean Diddy Combs.
The Fall of Diddy, as it's called, features stories from some of those who worked closely with the music mogul, and that includes Danity Kane singer D. Woods, who was featured on the hit show Making the Band 3.
What would you say to Diddy if you had the chance to talk to him?
I honestly do not know, but I don't think you really have to say anything. As long as I'm holding my head up high and my shoulders back.
I feel like I really want to hear this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Woods sitting down for an exclusive interview with ABC's Eva Pilgrim. She says what should have been a dream come true quickly became something else, alleging that Diddy created a verbally abusive work environment.
Somebody constantly treating you like a piece of meat. Only valuing you for your sex appeal. And in some of the environments, you know, it was even scary to be by yourself.
Yeah, D. Woods is 3 of 5 members of Danity Kane who have spoken out over the last couple of years about abusive allegations during their time working with Diddy. He has denied all the allegations made against him in the documentary. He's facing trial later this year, charges including sex trafficking and racketeering, and he has pleaded not guilty.
New allegations against Diddy have surfaced as former Danity Kane members Audria Day, Don Richard, and D. Woods have filed lawsuits. They accuse him of treating them as mere objects, valuing them only for their sex appeal. In a recent interview, D. Woods revealed experiencing verbal abuse and degrading comments. She reflected on these experiences in the docuseries The Fall of Diddy, shedding light on the toxic treatment they endured.
In their letter, they write, quote, "Having reviewed these videos, it is now abundantly clear that they confirm Mr. Combs' innocence and that their full exculpatory value cannot be investigated and used unless they are electronically produced. The 9 videos at issue are the so-called freak-off tapes with victim 1 that the government has repeatedly referenced, causing wild speculation in the media. Contrary to what the government has led this court and the public to believe, the so-called freak-offs were private sexual activity between fully consenting adults in a long-term relationship. Like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes filmed their sexual activity. These videos unambiguously show that the person alleged in the indictment to be victim 1 not only consented, but thoroughly enjoyed herself." And we believe, by the way, victim 1 to be Cassandra Ventura. This is Diddy's ex, who first filed that initial sexual assault lawsuit against Combs back in 2023. She was in that infamous surveillance footage that was published by CNN of an incident that happened in a hotel hallway where Combs is beating Ventura just while wearing a towel. It's a very disturbing video. He argues the videos don't show any orgies or celebrities or violence or coercion or threats or manipulation or evidence of anyone being under the influence of drugs, that this is not sex trafficking. Quote, "The premise that freak-offs are inherently dangerous shows that the government seeks to police non-conforming sexual activity and that it assumes, despite all evidence to the contrary, that a woman's willing participation must have been coerced." That's interesting because that's something we've long suspected, that the defense is not going to shy away from the term freak-offs. They might accept, yeah, Combs called these freak-offs, but this was entirely consensual. It was all on the up and up. It might be different to you and me, but there's nothing illegal going on here.
If the government is the government in the Southern District of New York, I can't imagine this is what they're hanging their hat on if it's what the defense describes. It's like one of those things that when you have a weakness in a case, the government has to decide how they're going to use that. My guess is they're going to use it to show that there were sex workers, that these sex workers were paid. I would imagine that they have the sex workers that are in the video to come in and describe what was going on or what happened before they went on tape. Whether or not they had drugs or alcohol or anything else, whether or not Cassie had drugs or alcohol, whether or not there was a discussion between Sean Combs and Cassie before the tape started. So
Right.
I think that the tape is going to be one portion of it, but the testimony of either the sex workers that were in the video and or Cassie is going to kind of tie it together. That's my guess.
Diddy's legal team recently acknowledged the existence of his freak-off tapes and requested copies for review. However, Judge Aaron Subban denied the request after prosecutors revealed that Diddy intended to use the tapes to embarrass Cassie. While Diddy's team is permitted to review the tapes under supervision, their request for copies remains unclear. The tapes, which were handed over to the FBI by Cassie, are claimed by Diddy's team to depict her as happy and satisfied with him. This claim has raised further questions regarding the true nature of the tapes and their potential use in court.
When the trial starts and the jury sits, will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Well, like during
100% in court, in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porno played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't a civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate. And they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against them. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care. Get your ass on the stand.
Do they prep you for stuff like this in law school? Do they say, you know, you might do a case and you might have to watch hours of pornographic material and comb through it? Like, what's the semester on for this?
Well, you're exactly right. They don't prepare you for that because you understand every case is different. So you read about cases. Like, I think this Diddy case is going to be studied forever. You know, I think it's going to be studied in law school.
The tapes from Diddy's mansion, along with other electronic evidence seized by the FBI, are set to be played in court. A grand jury will review all the videos, which prosecutors claim will play a key role in their case. However, Diddy's legal team counters, arguing that the tapes do not support the prosecution's narrative of illicit conduct. This development is expected to have a significant impact on the ongoing legal proceedings.
Here is the other thing with Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used in this book. Here's the problem. Christian and Quincy Combs, these are the sons of Diddy and Kim Porter. Quincy's actually adopted by Diddy. But they are reportedly fighting back, and they have sent Burgess a cease and desist letter to prevent the further sale of this book. They argue this is just an attempt to capitalize on Porter's fame and that they own the rights to her IP, her intellectual property, like her diary entries, her potential manuscript. As her heirs, they own it. And they also want an accounting of current sales of the book. To be clear, though, they aren't acknowledging that there is, in fact, a long-lost memoir from their mother. In fact, they've actually denied that before when there was a similar book, a derivative work, we'll talk about that, published by this guy named Chris Todd on Amazon. They were adamantly fighting against that. They said that their mother wouldn't write this. But what they're basically saying is if something should exist, they own it.
In an interesting twist, Diddy's sons have reportedly attempted to block the release of key evidence in the case against Sean Combs. In November 2024, Courtney Burgess, CEO of Alter Ego Records, claimed that he received evidence from Diddy's late ex-wife, Kim Porter, including copies of the Freak-Off tapes and an electronic version of her memoir for safekeeping. Diddy's sons are allegedly trying to prevent the release of this evidence, further complicating the ongoing legal proceedings.
So breaking news right now, Larry, I am just getting word. People magazine says it's got a source on the inside that tells them that P. Diddy's on suicide watch tonight. Do your sources confer the same information? Are they saying it was possible?
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on suicide watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there, He was like an overnight guest. When they killed his bond hearing, now they checked him into the system, and reality has hit him. And I understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on suicide watch. Another error that I guess some warden told you this. There are sentenced inmates there. They're called cadre inmates. They don't have to be white collar inmates, but they're doing maintenance on the building. And the problem why there's a lot of violence there, they have housing units. And they're mixing bank robbers, drug dealers, rapists with white collar people. And this is why Diddy, he can't go into a regular housing unit because somebody will take him out for sure. Somebody's gonna get a lot of street credibility out of this. People that are doing substantial time that know they're never getting out, they'll just kill the guy. No questions asked.
You think that they'd suck up to him because he's got a lot of money, and if he ever does get the commissary options, he would be able to help them.
Some people do because
I got to wrap it real quick.
Okay, some people do think that Diddy can help him, but this guy's going to be locked up forever. His case will probably take at least 3 years to litigate. He'll stay at MDC. There's rumors that he wants to go to Essex County Jail in New Jersey because he doesn't like MDC. He's a marshal's inmate. There's no way they're going to transfer him back and forth, I don't know, several times a week, 6 marshals to do it.
Jersey.
He's out of luck.
Listen, I'm going to have you back. I'm going to have you back. I have so many more questions for you, but we've had a lot of breaking news in this show. So Larry Levine, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
These new allegations arise amid growing scrutiny of Diddy's relationship with his stepson, Christian. Freddie P., an artist who worked closely with Diddy early on and claims to have been blackballed, has alleged witnessing suspicious behavior between the two. Freddie suggested that Diddy was grooming Christian, which he believes contributed to Christian adopting harmful behavior, turning into a monster like Diddy. This claim adds further complexity to the ongoing controversy.